right, I am live. I'm a little late, sorry about that. So getting my muscles of the day together. I'm gonna wait a couple more seconds before I dig into this. Make sure we got our thing here. Okay. Wait a little bit longer. How are you all doing? See if anybody pops in the chat here first off. Let me know if you're here. Sometimes the viewer count is a little slow. So if you're here, just say hello. Just a quick hello, appreciate it. This should be the last day if we can get an average of 3 viewers. Yay, and then we should be good to go for Twitch affiliate. Once that's all set up, I will let you all know. And what on earth do you do after that? Let me get this little thing set up here, sorry. Aha, good deal. Okay. So we still have nobody live yet. We are gonna get there though, it's all right. So just a little bit longer. So we're doing a muscle of the day is our new thing. Suggested to us by Jan SENC, I think, 83. So appreciate that. And let's see here. I'm still waiting. I got 0 viewers right now. Wow. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. We'll go ahead and get started because we got leg day today. And what better way to start with leg day than to talk about one of the leg muscles? Oh, we got 2 viewers all of a sudden. All right. Thanks for joining us. Say hi if you're on there. Let me know that you can hear me okay, that everything's clear. That's helpful for me to know so that way you guys are getting the message. So we got our muscle of the day. Today we're going to talk about the quads. So the quad is running along the front of the thigh. The reason why they call it the quads or the quadriceps is the longer name is that there's actually 4 muscles that make up that whole complex there. So what the quad does, it helps extend the leg or AKA straighten the knee. So it does this motion here, the extension of it. So you have a good strong quad here, squeeze there. One of the quads actually helps what they call extending the hip. So it helps pull, it actually helps contract, lift the knee up a little bit. So it does a little bit of that motion as well. I was thinking hamstring, that's one of those that does that. But it helps, one of the muscles helps flex the hip here, and then it also helps extend the knee. So that is your muscle of the day, and it is leg day, so you will see how this works in action. But let's break it down a little bit. You guys don't have to remember this, but I think it's just nice to know. I got these flashcards here. Let's see if we can see it all right. So that's one of the muscles. This is the rectus femoris. And so as you can see, it actually attaches up into the pelvis. This is the only quad muscle that does this. It attaches into the pelvis, crosses your hip joint, and then attaches into the patellar tendon here in the knee. So basically that tendon that goes along the front of the kneecap. So that's a pretty long muscle there, and it again crosses 2 joints there at the hip and at the knee. So it helps extend the knee that we just talked about, and that flexion of the hip, helping bring the knee up a little bit. So that's your first one, rectus femoris. And then you have the vastus lateralis. So this is let me make sure I'm looking at this right. So this is looking at someone's right leg from their perspective, they're right. But that quad muscle is on the outside of the thigh. So as you can see, it just attaches at the femur and again down there in that patellar tendon. And so that also helps extend the knee. The next one, let's go outer and then to the inner. So this is the intermedius, vastus intermedius. And so this is here's the lateralis on the side. It's not pictured here, but it would be on the outside of this muscle. This is the intermedius, so it's in the middle of the leg here. So it attaches again into that patellar tendon and a little bit bigger, right? So that's your third one. The fourth quad muscle is the vastus medialis. And so this is the one that's on the inside of the leg. And so all of these are underneath the biceps femoris. So, so they all kind of layer on each other. So this one's on the inside of the leg. Sometimes with this one you see the, let's see, is it this one? It's the vastus medialis oblique. So where it kind of turns in a little bit there. Sometimes people will mention that little bit there and how it can help your knee health. Speaking of knee health and why the quads are important, it helps extend the knee, helps strengthen that, but it also helps control the bend of the knee. So this muscle is lengthening out as my knee is bending, but it helps control that motion. And so with a lot of the exercises that I'm doing today, I'm not doing a whole lot of leg extension, so I'm not squeezing the quads outright, but it is helping control the movement down. This is important for things like squats. This is important things for daily things like sitting down on the toilet, getting up from the toilet, climbing stairs, super important for that one. It helps a little bit of your stride as you're walking and running. We'll talk about hamstrings probably next week as far as that goes. But quads are extremely important. It's really good to strengthen them. Again, helping you stand up, to have that strength to stand up. I work with a lot of clients that are more like 50s and older, 50s, 60s really, and older. And as I've observed, especially my older ones that are like more in their 80s, that ability to going from a sitting position to standing, that quad strength is extremely important. That's where you see people like sometimes the older people, they're sitting down in the chair and they start and they don't have that same strength. They're using the arms to get completely upright. So being able to strengthen the quads throughout your years is extremely important. So we're going to train a little bit of them today. I'm going to take a little sip, and I have not warmed up yet. So I'm just going to do a little bit of joint mobility. Since I'm doing a little muscle of the day, I did sign on a little bit late here. So I'm just doing some simple stuff. Again, I've been working with clients all day, so I usually do a couple head shakes, looking back and forth. I'll do a couple of chin up and downs. I've been doing these quite often today, so this is nice and loosened up. I do like to do some shoulder rolls. So I'll pull the shoulder blades forward, shrug up to the ears, pitch shoulder blades back. I'll get a little bit of a chest lift with that one too. So the spine is a little bit more involved. This is one of my favorites. This is a great one to do throughout the day. Get a big, deep inhale there. Exhale as the shoulders come away from the ears. So I'll do one more of these. Thank you all for signing on. Really appreciate it. And next up, we'll do some side bends. I'm hoping to get to a oblique exercise here at the very end if we have time. So I'm helping lengthen out this side that gets into the side of the leg as well. So we can play around with that. We can even extend the arm overhead. Arms get a little bit of a break today. We'll make sure that they get a little TLC. All right, next up, I'm going to go on the floor. I'm going to do a couple cat-cows and then go into some hip hurdlers. Hey, Anton, you're back. How you doing? There's Clemens. There's my guys. Welcome back. Glad you guys are here. I hope you saw the muscle of the day. Hopefully you guys caught that. I did that at the very start. We talked about the quads, good old quads. There's actually 4 of them, hence the name. All right, so talking about the quads here, the quads are actually lengthened out a little bit because I have a bend in the knee. I'm going to go into this cat, back, and cow. So just doing a couple different motions there. Warming up that spine. I want the spine to be pretty stable with a lot of these exercises today. I want it to be fairly neutral, but I want to make sure that it's got some movement. And then from here, I'm going to do some hip hurdlers. I like this floor version versus the standing version because it makes my leg muscles activate a little bit more. I'm going to start with the toes pointing down. I'm going to turn the toes out to the side, bring the knee up towards the elbow, drop the knee towards the floor, and extend back again. So I'm going to do 5 in this direction, just nice and easy, nice and slow. And then there's my 5th, and then I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to tuck the knee in, fire hydrant, dog peeing on a fire hydrant out, and take the knee down. I'll do 5 in that direction. Just keeping that breath flowing. Helps those muscles kind of wake up a little bit more. Do the same thing on the opposite side. All right, one more in this direction. And then the opposite direction. Tucking the knee in, extend out, turn the toes down. Just nice and easy, nothing fast. Really making sure those muscles are getting a little bit of the weight so they can wake up a little bit. Last one here. Good deal. All right, next up, I'm gonna go onto the floor for some windshield wipers. So I've got this S shape with my legs. I've got a knee connected to a heel. Number of things you can do from this position. And I'm gonna start with just some back and forths, and this is another big hip opener. Make sure the knees get wide and away from one another, so that way the groins kind of get a little bit stretched in there too. Taking that knee down as best as you can. If you're trying this one with me, and if it gets too tight, like if that knee can't drop, you can lift up a little bit more. You can take the hands off the ground if you need to. But ideally, see if we can keep the hands behind you so you can really get some internal rotation with that leg that comes over. My right one's a little tighter than my left. But that's okay, we're gonna work with it. That's why we're doing this, right? And then, like to transition into pigeon. So I'll go over this front leg, extend the leg out, turn that hip down. I'm not gonna stay here more than 5 seconds, but man, oh man, that feels really good today. This is a really good one if you've been sitting for long periods of time or standing for long periods of time. So that was me today. Doing a lot of standing, not a lot of sitting. This feels amazing. So this front leg, we'll talk about the glutes on one of our muscle of the days. This front leg though, my knee is bent, and so that quad is stretched out. But this back leg though, my knee is straighter, and I actually want to engage that quad a little bit more in this pigeon stretch. So this isn't passive, this is fairly active. I'm reaching through that back leg, squeezing that quad, and make sure it's stable. Let's do one more on each side. There you go. And I like to do a door frame stretch too sometimes, but we're running a little behind. So I will do, oh buddy, that feels so good. I'll do a different one today. So working on hamstrings to the back of the thigh. That will probably be the muscle of the day next week. It is the antagonistic of the quad, that meaning they do opposite motions. So I got this front leg extended. Actually, I'm going to turn this leg back. Encourage that internal rotation there. My foot is flexed. I'm going to sit up tall, exhale, forward fold. Woo, feeling that nice stretch on the back of the leg. Again, not staying long. I don't want to stay in a static stretch for very long before a workout. It tends to increase your chance of injury. We don't want to do that. But definitely some static stretching after a workout is A-okay. Holding for 30 seconds or more post-workout. All right, I'm going to swap to the other side so I can windshield wiper to the other side. Got the internal rotation of the back leg. You can also bring the knees together, further apart for more stretch. So that's how you can take care of that back leg. Ooh, sitting up tall. Talk about the quads again. You want to make sure that these quads are nice and strong. They're rock hard as you're doing anything with the hamstring stretch. It helps stretch that hamstring even more and adds stability to the knee. So making sure that it doesn't go completely loosey-goosey as you're doing some stretching and some joint mobility. All right, let's do one more on this side. We'll hit those hip flexors next, and we'll call it good. All right, so I'm gonna tuck that in. I'm gonna come back to my tabletop here. I'm gonna step my right hand in front of, or to the side of my right hand. I'm gonna do this version today. Lifting up, I've got the tailbone tuck, chest lift. I'm squeezing the glute of that left leg and surge forward. So I'm feeling a stretch from the front of my hip here, and then inhale to come back out. Exhale to go into the tension, inhale to come out. Making sure my chest doesn't collapse forward with this one. Alrighty, we got one more here. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I see some comments on there. I'll go take care of that Here in just a second after this one. Got the tailbone tuck, chest lift, squeeze the glute. Sitting up tall, exhale. Feel the stretch on the front of that thigh. Those good old hip flexors. Great one to do again if you have been sitting for long periods. I've been experiencing even standing for long periods. Sometimes my low back starts to have a little bit too much excessive curve, which can tighten those hip flexors. So this is a really nice one to do even if you've been standing for long periods. But definitely if you have a desk job, this is a lifesaver, let me tell you. Helps your hip pain, helps your back pain for sure. Helps relieve tension. Sometimes if you feel stressed, you know, these muscles are very much connected to the stress response. And it gets a little bit of quad with that. Look at that, 9 viewers, awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, yay. Oh, okay, you're a little delayed with the bedtime. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad it's going okay. Anton, if you're still here, how's the workouts been going? You still been working at it? Those push-ups been feeling okay? I ate lunch right before this, and I feel like I have this piece of spinach stuck in my tooth right here. So if I'm making faces at you guys, I'm really sorry. Also, I see that we got a new follower. Thank you so much for following. It does not show me who it is. Thank you so much for signing on and being with us today. I hope this is helpful. All right, so, I need to tilt this up. That's why you can't see my face. Ta-da. All right, that might be a little better. And Clemens, are you doing upper body today? Okay, so I'm going to do some side lunges. You can get in the screen here, there you go. And I'm working on the jump part. So side shuffling from side to side, controlling the momentum down and switching directions even against momentum. I'm gonna add a little weight to this. I did 10 pounds last week. It was okay, but I feel like I can go a little bit more. So I got 15, we'll see what happens. So I'm starting with my feet close together. I'm gonna go to a wide stance, press the hips back, make sure that knee stays in line with the toe. It's in line with the middle of the foot. And then my quad here is lengthening, but it's stabilizing on the way down. That strength on the way down is very important. That's why having those slow, controlled movements is very, very important. Instead of going straight to jumping out like this. I'm gonna do 15 per side. 3. Adding a little bit more weight means I have a little bit more weight to control with this momentum. 6. And this launching up. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Nope. That's 12. 13. Last one. Whew. All right. And breathe. I'm gonna shake out, walk around a little bit. Approximately 30-second rest. Here we go. Back and shoulders, seated rows, hyperextensions, yeah. Single arm high rows and lateral raises, nice. That's okay. Doesn't have to be funky. Just has to challenge you, right? That's the main thing. Challenge you within good technique, I should say. A lot of things can be challenging. It can definitely be outside technique though. All right. All right, round number 2. Coming on up. I like this 15. Whew. Definitely got my heart rate up there. All right. A little bit more in line. Here we go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. 7, 8, 9, 9, here's 10, 11, last one. All right. Whew. One more set of those. Breathe, shaking it out. Yeah. Whew. Good. Yes. Because sometimes you don't want to do it. That's very true. Sometimes you don't want to work out. And this is where it's nice and helpful. You know, someone's going to be doing it with you, even though we're an entire ocean apart. It's nice to have that accountability with one another, right? It goes a long way. And the most progress that you make is on the days that you don't want to show up, but you show up anyway. That's where you know you're disciplined. That even though you don't want to do it, you show up and do it anyway. That is a huge, huge thing. Whew. To be honest, I didn't want to do it today either. I sat down for lunch and had clients from 8:15 to 12:30, and I had a earlier class than that too. And I sat down for lunch, and I was like, I don't want to get back up. I just want to go and take a nap. And I was like, no, I got Twitch. We got to go. Got to get these legs working. I didn't get as much movement in this weekend that I wanted to either, so I know my body's craving it a little bit. All right, last set of these. That's 4. About halfway through, this is 9. Last one. Whew. Oh. Good deal. Set this weight to the side. Whew. This one exercise down. Shake it out. Lots of plyometrics today. Hey! Let's see. I'm probably going to butcher this. Come on again. Oh. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. For the comment. Got those strong arms there. Are you working out too? Yes, consistency beats motivation any day, any day. Motivation is a sales tactic, by the way. If you have someone that is, not always, I should say not always, but if you see someone that's trying to sell something and they're really harping on motivation, 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 not a bad thing. It just, the expectation isn't there. It's like motivation helps get us started. It keeps the momentum going. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually really, really important. But on those days where you don't feel like doing it, we have it ingrained in our culture now, in the fitness culture, I should say, that we must feel motivated in order to work out. That is not the case at all. The real work happens is when the motivation is not there, but you choose to do it anyway. That is the real work. That's when you know things are really sitting in. That's when those results really come in. Yeah, love that. Consistency beats motivation. Thank you, thank you. Very nice quote there. Oh, all right, getting my breath back. We have some rear lunge to hops. Kind of a long name. I'll probably give it another one, but eventually. But this one, I'm going to shoot for 15. I'm going to do at least 12 per leg. I'm going to start standing here. I'm going to reach my leg back. This leg is actually straight in my back leg. My quad, another muscle of the day, my quad is engaged, so it's contracted. My front quad here, though, is a little bit lengthened, but it's stabilizing. It's not relaxed, but it is under tension. So even though the muscle is lengthened out, it's still under tension. I'm going to explode up. I'm going to hop on one foot. So I'm going from the flexion of the knee, the stretching out of the quad, to the extension of the quad as I go into that hop. I'm going to land and step that foot back. There is an intermediate where you can tap the toe down, lift the knee, and step the foot back as well. I'm going to stall a little bit longer with my breath. Hey, Carrie! Yay! Thank you so much for your comment. That is lovely. Yeah, I know. I wish I was closer. You wouldn't think like 45 minutes would be that far away, but it is. Yeah. Aw. Well, you can always hop in with this Twitch stuff if you want. So Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 to 4, you can work out with us. It doesn't have to be the same thing. I'm going to butcher your name again, Clemens. I'm sorry. Jan, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry. But Jan, SCNC83, he's working out too. He's doing upper body today. And so we're just keeping each other accountable. But thank you so much for your positive comment. It makes my heart feel happy. Thank you very much for that. All right, glad you're here. And for all your support. I know you've been sharing my posts too. I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Carrie. All right. Yeah. Kiddos' schedules are crazier than adult schedules somehow, and I don't know how that's possible, but it is. Into all their things. Yeah. But you can join us online. Having that accountability, you know we're going to be here. All right, I'm going to do this. To be honest, I'm not very good with hopping and this explosive stuff, but my body needs it. I need to be better at it. So here we go. I'm trying not to stall anymore. We'll start with this leg here. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A little bit of a balance challenge too. Here's 10, 11, 12. Last one. Holy cow. Oh, talk about quad burner. Oh, it is getting that quad for sure. Oh, this isn't muscle of the day. Hamstrings are also working, that back to thigh. They're responsible for bending the knees. I guess I can't wait till next week for that one. a little preview for hamstrings. But quads, oh buddy, even though they're in that lengthened position, they are stabilizing for sure. Woo! Get my balance back. There we go. Here's 12, 30. Oh boy. Whew, gas out there at the end. Just shake it out. Plyo boxes. Oh yes, I do have plyo boxes. There they are. That was a Christmas gift from my husband one year. Those things are amazing, especially the ones where you can like have multiple like lengths or heights of the boxes. I prefer the wood ones. I know there's those kind of fabric-y, squishy ones. I've never used them. I'm always afraid that has like too much give for the ankles on landing, and I might slip. So that's just me though. I'm a huge fan of plyo boxes, not just for jumping, but for other things as well. Lots of modifications you can do for other exercises like planks, push-ups. There's fun ones like, see if I can do this one. It's been a while since I've done this one, but it's like a tabletop. It's a plank. Yeah, I'm a little tight in my shoulders right now, but yeah, so you can lift the hips up and go back and forth. Sometimes people aren't ready for that one on the floor, so you can use yoga blocks or plyo boxes for that one, and it's pretty fun. I'm not focusing on catching my breath. I want to think about long exhales. The inhales come naturally. Have those long exhales. Helps get that heart rate down. All right. Set number 2. I'm going to start with my right leg this time. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to check my knee. 3. Ooh, balance again. 14. Goodness. Those last couple, are hard for balance. There you go, it's 15. Sloppy last couple, but I'm able to regain the balance, so that's good. All right. Set 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 13. And 15. Woo. Long exhales. Yeah. Somebody lay down on the floor. Hey, retired, rehire. Thanks for joining again. As you can see, I almost was laid out on the floor. Almost lost my balance there a few times. Something I'm working on with my right leg. I'm hoping to bring out some new exercises for you guys too. Is this right glute, for some reason, isn't engaging properly. That's why I switched my right foot hopping first. My right foot tends to fall in. That's because my knee is falling in because this glute isn't activating properly. So I'm kind of working on making sure that's stabilizing. That way I'm getting the proper landing on this foot. And it'll help my ankle as well. Make sure it's not dipping too far inward towards that flat foot. Whew. All right, I got one more. Those rear lunged hops. Look at my list here. It's on my door. So banded. I've got my band around my feet or my ankles into the bridge. So speaking of feet, making sure they're engaged, that's what that one really focuses on. All right, got one more set of these. Got my rear lunge. And make sure my foot stays in line with the middle. My knee stays in line with the middle of my foot. Back up a little bit. Make sure my foot doesn't collapse in so that knee doesn't go in. All right, here we go. Make sure this glute is engaged on the way up and on landing. Whee. One more. Ooh, there we go. Oh. Second side. Last time. Here we go. 3 more. 13, 15. Whew. Oh my gosh. Whew. Again, quad burner. Front of those thighs. Catching our breath here. Check out our comments. Are you alive? So they're live, obviously, as I'm doing now, but sorry. but they are, my brain isn't working. They can be watched, it's my understanding, for a week. Like they'll stay on my channel homepage for a week. Once I get my life a little bit more together, I'm hoping that I can download them off of Twitch and then post them onto YouTube. So that way they can be up and running longer. So thank you for saying that, because it reminds me, I need to do that. I'll probably do that for this one, since we have a little bit more structure now that we have the muscle of the day thing. I would also like to leave off with a verse. I don't have one in mind for the day yet. No, I can find one. So now that we have a little bit more structure, yes, I'm planning to download the videos and then upload them on YouTube for longer viewing, because it says it's up there for 7 days, but kind of when I've looked, it seems like there's some only up there for 3 days. And then there's some others that have other people I've been watching on Twitch where their videos are up longer, like sometimes 10 days or more. So I don't know if that's, those people have been on Twitch for longer than me, much longer than me. And so I don't know if it's part of like the Twitch affiliate or Twitch partner where they can keep them up longer. So I'm hoping I can find a little bit more. But there's, let's see, last Wednesday's I know should be up. So I think that should still be up there. So I'm glad you mentioned that. That gives me the encouragement to work on that today, hopefully, or tomorrow at least. Ooh, excuse me. All right, so next up, I've got some banded bridges. Oh, with a band, obviously. I'm gonna grab a medium. I'm gonna grab the heavy just in case. That medium was, it was getting there. I'm gonna have you guys on a little ride here for a second. I apologize. Whee! So pretty much the rest of the exercises will be on the floor except for calf raises, but I'm still gonna have the camera low for that one so you can see what my feet are doing at least. There's a couple different variations of foot positioning for the calf raises that I've got. But we will come to the floor for some good old bridges. There you go. All right, so I've just got these, what I call mini loop resistance bands. These things are fantastic. So they're connected. Great for anything with the glutes. There are some arm exercises you can do with these as well. They are lightweight, they're versatile. They come in a little bag here, so you can just throw them in with your suitcase or anything if you're traveling. Fantastic piece of exercise equipment, and not that expensive either. So if you're on a budget, these mini loops are a great thing to have. So I'm gonna place the band at that little knobbly bit on the outside of my ankles here. So that way, I scooch here. The band, once I bring it out a little further, I've got some tension on that band. The band will want to pull my ankles in. As you can see, my knees went with it. But I'm going to resist that by pressing the ankles out, making sure, and I can have the extreme. So I'm going to the outer blades of the foot, pressing that really against the band, but then I'm going to place the big toe mound down and make sure my inner heel point is still down as well. So that arch of the foot is very much engaged. Watching that doesn't collapse in and go to flat feet. That's not what I want with this one. And then again, engaging with the glutes. Because everything is connected, when my feet are engaged, it helps my glutes get engaged a little bit more. So, got my shoulder blades on the floor here, got my ankles pressed against the band. I can find the extremes, put the big toe mound down. Whoo, buddy, already feeling that arch, good deal. And then from here, I'm gonna lift up the hips, squeeze the glutes. I'm gonna control back down without losing the tension in the feet or the legs. So everything is staying the same with the legs here. Sometimes when people are doing bridges, talking about the quads or muscle of the day, they feel what they feel like is a contraction or that they're working, but they're actually being lengthened when the hips are moving up. So they may feel a big stretch on the quads when you're doing a bridge. You might feel in the hips as well, getting those hip flexors and that rectus femoris muscle. That's 8. 9, 10. I'm going to shoot for 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Big time glute squeeze, of course, with these bridges. They will definitely be a muscle of the day one of these days. 10 viewers, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Fingers crossed, this should be the last day that we have to do all these requirements for the Twitch affiliate. And let me tell you, you guys have showed up and showed out. I am extremely grateful because I was really nervous about that 3 viewers on average. First day I got it, that I ever streamed, I actually got it. And I was like, oh, this won't be so bad. And then day 2, day 3, day 4, it was like 2, 2, 2, it was right under. So just thank you guys so much. It would have taken me a long time to get there without you guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. There is no such thing as a self-made man because we need each other to do literally anything. Nobody can do everything by themselves, and I definitely cannot do this by myself. So thank you guys so much for showing up, for spending your time doing this. I hope it's worthwhile for you all because time is precious. It's the only non-renewable resource that we know of. There's others out there, but it's the one that's within our control. So I just really appreciate it is what I'm trying to say. I'm very honored that you guys are here. I want to make sure it's something worthwhile to you all, and you walk away knowing something. All right, round 2 for these glute bridges. Find the extremes. Big toe mound down. Here we go. Again, the quads are getting stretched out with this one, especially on the way up. There's a little contraction of the rectus femoris on the way down, but they are still stabilizing. This is 10. That's 15. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. One more of those. Whew. My glutes could do more, but my feet say no, please. So I'm going to honor that. Oh, thank you. And Clemens, thank you for being one of the originals, hanging out with me, being super consistent. You were there since day 1, I think, right? The very first stream. We are total strangers with each other. I really feel honored that you're spending the time working out with me. It's awesome. Super cool. Super, super cool. Whew. I'm extra sweaty today for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I increased the weight on one of my exercises, that's why. That good old 15 pounds. And I did 3 sets of it instead of just the 1 set last time. I just did 1 set of 10 pounds last time around. Whew. So I not only upped the weight, but then did more with said weight. All right, last round of these. Check myself on the screen here a little bit. I don't know, let's try that out. All right, got my setup. Hour blades the feet, big toe mound down. Here we go. Final set. Here's 10, 11, 12. Ooh, hamstring cramp. There it is. There's 13, 14, and 15. All right, there we go. Whew. Toss that away. All right. Another one bites the dust. Yes. Woohoo! When needs me, yes. It's nice to help each other out, isn't it? Oh, accountability goes a long way. Oh boy, I don't know if my hamstring has ever cramped on glute bridges. It's really common for it to happen. I've never had that happen before. Got my creatine, by the way. I'm drinking that. It tastes so good. All right. Next up, got some calf raises. These guys definitely deserve a whole day of their own, of the muscle of the day. Calf raises don't just raise up the heels. They do all sorts of stuff. They help out with your squats. They help out with a little bit of your deadlifts. And they have it's a big deal to have them lengthen out enough to help deepen your squats as well. So they will get a whole day of their own. We'll talk about the good old calf muscles and everything that comes with it. So I'm gonna put this little mat on here. Let me double up one more time. Sometimes the straight wood is a little grindy on the toes, the metatarsals. It's not very fun. All right, so got my feet here. I'm gonna do 3 sets of these as well. 3, there you go. I've got the toes forward, lifting the heels off the ground. I'm going to turn the heels out to the side, but I'm doing it up here by the quads. So I'm turning the quads to the outside. Quads are engaged with this as well. So I'm not bending the knee with this version. Again, we'll talk about calves and the soleus muscle. But anyway, turn the legs out, lifting the heels, and then we'll turn the toes in. Get a little pigeon toe going on and lifting the heels that way. I'm going to up the rep range to 20. And these calves can take quite a bit. If you are new to calf raises, don't do 20 pounds. Don't do 20 reps if it's something that is new to you, or else it'll be very difficult to walk for the next couple of days. I am speaking from experience. So I like to do them on a step 2 because the heels get to dip below the edge of the mat versus if I was just flat on the floor, that's as low as my heels get to go. My calf muscle can't lengthen out anymore. So being up on the edge of a step can help out with that heel dip. And so I'm just gonna let the calves stretch out a little bit. I'm gonna lift straight up, squeeze the back of the calves, control back down. I'm thinking about the heel is going and trying to reach the back of my knee. Exhale as I lift up. 4. And I'm slowly controlling back down. I am not going fast with these because I want to make sure I am controlling the whole range of motion. Find a little stretch at the bottom. 8, 9. You can add weight to this as well if you need to. 12. I'm hanging on to the sides of the door frame for a little extra help. You can let go of the door frame for balance practice as well. So now I've just got my fingertips. I know you can't see them, but just got my fingertips grazing. Very, very, very light touch. That's 15 there, I think. 16, that's what I get for talking. 17, but I'm feeling the burn. I'm getting the work. 19 and 20. Woohoo! All right. So trying to control the way down as best as you can. Whew. Try not to rush it. The control back down will especially help you with any kind of sprints, and of course controlling any motions, balance for sure, that you're able to control your balance. Got a new comment, so we're doing our, can you explain the difference between burn and pump? Ooh, good question. Okay, so the burn is like the muscle burn within the muscle belly. So that's where like, okay, I'm getting some good work done. You know, you're feeling that sensation there. The pump has to do more with how much blood is in the muscle itself. So when people are talking about the pump, you know, hey, I have to say it that way, it feels like. That's when the muscle itself is engorged with blood. And so I feel this especially on upper body day. I don't feel so much for leg day, but upper body day for sure, like towards the end. When I've done chest press, I've done the back, but then I'm really starting to work on the arms, the triceps, the biceps. It's the blood rushing into the muscle to help it to get that recovery, to help it to get the oxygen that it needs to continue to do work. And so it will literally like fill up with fluid. The fluid being blood. It's not a bad thing. It's just taking care of business. And so some like bodybuilders in particular really like the pump because it makes their muscles look more filled out. And it's temporary. You know, once the work stops, you get into recovery mode. The blood will start to redistribute back to other things. Like once you eat, it'll go into the digestive system to help that out and help your digestive system process. Now, do I like the pump? I don't. Just because, again, I feel it mostly on upper body. My biceps really start to feel it. I don't like it because I feel like I can't get the full range of motion. And so it's just like I can feel it getting tighter and tighter. I'm not a fan. And that's just because the sensation of it. I don't have any mirrors in here, so I don't know if I look any different. But some people absolutely love the pump. And then, of course, like guys, they get the veins popping out and everything. They love that. So I love bro culture. It's fun. I love the vernacular and everything. So whenever I do that, I'm not making fun. I just think it's fun. You know, just it's that bro culture. You know, you're doing it together. You're chasing the pump. It is pretty fun. By the way, if you get into bodybuilding, I've never been into it, but that is a whole other science in of itself. Like there is some serious work into not just getting the muscles big, of course, but like actual competition day, like you are playing chemistry a bit. So like you got to get the water balance right. You got to get the carb intake right for you to have those big full muscles and not flat looking muscles. Like it really is admirable the kind of work that they do. So I am not downing on them at all because it takes a lot of work. All right, so second set here, I got the toes turned out. Again, is my whole leg turning out, not just my feet. I want the whole leg to turn out at the top of the hip, so that way it keeps my knees safe. All right, here's number 2. This one really gets me. Turn the toes out. This is my weak point. 3, 4, I'm just using one fingertip this time. 5 per hand. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Women's physique too, 12. They have to do like a whole, not just like flex routine, they have to do like an acrobatic routine too. Like it's not easy by any means. It's 13. Ooh, hello. 15, 16, 18. Last one. 20. Woo. All right. Got one more set of these calf raises. 11 viewers. Thank you, guys. Makes me think about, yeah, I have actually never seen that documentary, and I feel ashamed that I haven't. Yeah, because he's one of the ones that made it popular for sure. That was fun to watch. The feet turned out because I feel like a ballerina with that stuff. Whew. Yeah, bro culture is so fun. I have a friend that, I don't know if he's made up this lingo or where he got it from, but it cracks me up. Like of course he got his bros, you know, that he works out with, but that he's got his protege, that it's the guy that he's training, you know, that he's teaching these things. He's got his protege, and he is the professor. I think that's from a YouTube channel actually. But yeah, just that whole vernacular cracks me up. It's great. And of course, every time he talks about it, he has a big smile on his face. Because it is fun. It's fun to make your own language of that stuff. Whew, my favorite bodybuilding. Sorry, got a sip of water. My favorite bodybuilding term is yoked. Like, you ought to get yoked. Like, and I have to say it like that every single time. That's my favorite. Another friend of mine said that. I've never heard that term until he said it in class one day. And I was like, you do what now? It was great. And he had a really deep voice too, so it just made it that much better. All right, so last set here, got the toes turned in. This one feels the most awkward. Whew, just because you got to keep this turned in. So I might have to reset every now and then. Sometimes it eventually starts to turn more forward. So if you see me pause and reset, that's it. That's what I'm doing. All about the resets. No shame in that game of the resets. 2, 3, 4, 5. Carrie, if you're still watching, how your kiddos doing? 8, 9, because they are 10. Young and doing all the things. It seems like. Gotta reset. This is number 15 coming up. That's 15. 16. Quads are really working too. Keeping the legs straight and stabilized. Whew. Last one. Oh, buddy. Really feeling those today. I don't know what's different today. Whew. But it just is. You can watch fragments on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. He would definitely enjoy watching that. He would probably start quoting it for the rest of time. He's one of those people, I don't know if you guys might be like this, I don't know, which I haven't seen nearly. Oh, hey, thank you, Lisa. Hi, thanks for following me. I did see that one pop up on the screen. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, Jared is, he's the kind of guy that like talks in movie quotes sometimes, like or song quotes too. Sometimes he and his siblings will just talk back and forth, like have a whole conversation essentially in just movie and song quotes. And I can't keep up. I don't know if you guys know anybody like that, or you might be like that. I don't know. I have another friend that did that, or 2 friends that did that in middle school, and the rest of us had no idea what they were talking about because they were just talking in movie quotes and song lyrics the entire time. Oh yeah, he can definitely do the Arnold accent, for sure. He always says that we got to get out of here. I can't do it like he can. But, yeah, he cracks me up. I have no idea if he's watching right now. He's at work. All right, this does not look like, oh, it is the same thing. Okay, I'm trying a different ankle wrap, but a little heavier. See what happens for this one. Might regret it. We'll see. We're gonna do those floating leg abductions. That's what I'm doing next, right? Yeah, floating leg abductions. So I'm still on the floor here. Yeah, so I've got these ankle weights. I have no idea how heavy they are. I took 2 of them out, so I've got 4 little doohickeys in there left, little sandbags. The ones I was using before was 1 pound. I didn't know that for sure, because those are not adjustable, and they had that on the bots. These, though, pretty much all the other ankle weights I have been gifts, and they're used, so I have no idea what they are. I just know that, okay, that's enough, okay, that's not enough, and that works. Whatever works. Make sure that, one, you get the challenge, and two, it's something that is reproducible for yourself at least. Like, for example, I know this is my medium weight of the ankle weights, and I took 2 out on each one, and so that way I have 4 little sandbags left in there. So I can remember that. So floating leg abductions, the quads, again, in this case, doing 2 different things. So this is actually not a quad exercise. This is actually working the side of the thighs, the abductor muscles. There's multiple muscles with that. We'll talk about that as well in the future. But that is the main source here. Of this leg here, it's the inner thigh is controlling down, so it gets some work as well. As far as the quads go, for our muscle of the day, the front of the thighs, this one that's out to the side will be stabilizing. It'll stay contracted. Oh boy, this is gonna be real fun. So I might be too heavy. I might be lowering it down after the first one. So the quads are stabilizing for this leg. This one, the quad is, it's not disengaged and it's not quite stabilizing either since we have the support of the floor, but it is stretched out a little bit. What's tricky about this exercise here, though, for the abductors, the outside of the thighs, is that this leg is already abducted. So it's already away from the midline. So if I was standing upright, that leg is already away from the midline. So what's tricky is that you would think it'd be this one, but it's this bottom guy here that's really getting the weight. I want to make sure my spine stays relatively straight, so I just caught myself there. This is why mirrors are nice, by the way, is that I don't want a big contraction right here. I actually want to lengthen it out. And then from there, I got this other foot flex. Again, strong quad for this leg here to help protect the knee. I'm just going to lift it out to the side and back down. Oh no, I'm already cramping, guys. Whew, that's not a good start. Let's keep going. 2. We'll probably just go for 12, unless it calms down. I don't know. 3, 4. Okay, we're doing all right. 5, 6 for now. 7. Definitely more than a pound, though. 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, come on, hip. That's 12. Let's shoot for 15. It's feeling all right. 13, 14, 15. Yeah. Whew, good deal. So that's one side. I'm going to do 15 per side with this one. Let's see if this side cooperates a little better. Since maybe since this side got a little bit more of a warm up, it'll be okay. We'll see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. 9, 10, 11, here's 12, 13, 14, and 15. Yikes. Ho, 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 ho. All right, one set down. That was a good time. Whew. Get a little drink here. Whew. I don't want to sit, though, per se. This little squat here is all right. Lets the blood flow come through. Try not to sit in between sets if you can. Allow that blood to flow through your muscles unencumbered. Sometimes when you sit, it compresses the blood vessels. And so the oxygen can't get to those muscles that are working like it needs to. And then your next set will be worse. And the set after that will be worse. It is not a fun time. Again, I learned that from experience. Also, coaches in the past tell me, get up, move around, don't sit down, don't sit down. What's in my glass? Yeah, so this is the creatine mix. So from Equilife, if you go to my channel page, there should be a link for Equilife on there. It is a company that is third-party tested. That means you're getting what you're paying for. The supplement industry is not regulated here in the States. So the FDA doesn't regulate it. So you might not be getting what you're paying for. Third-party tested lets you know that you're getting what you're paying for. They stay away from common allergens, like gluten, dairy, soy, that kind of thing. My husband is gluten-free, so that's something that's really important for me, to find supplements where you don't have to worry about that. And then also this company also tests them for heavy metals, which is another problem in the supplement industry. Things like lead and mercury and things like that kind of sneak in there. But they test their supplements, making sure they don't have that in there. But this particular drink today is their Advanced Cell Force, which I gotta say that in a fun tone. Advanced Cell Force, which is their creatine. It has 5 grams of creatine in here. It has TMG. I'm gonna butcher it. So I'll look up the name later, but TMG, it's just the abbreviation for the longer name. It can help out with some heart health stuff, lowering homocysteine levels. It also has citrulline in there, which helps with opening up the blood vessels, so kind of what we were talking about earlier. And then it has taurine in there, which can help with eyes, and a bunch of other things. Yes, this contains a daily creatine dose, so 5 grams of creatine, and that's about the dose what they use in the studies that actually, the studies that have shown benefits, it's been around 3 to 5 grams of creatine. And what's fun now is that there's some studies that are coming out about the benefits of creatine for brain health. And that's only if your muscles are already saturated enough with creatine, then it kind of spills over into helping out your brain. So especially if you are like sleep deprived and everything, it can kind of help mitigate some of the effects of sleep deprivation. It is still not it is not a replacement for sleep. There's no replacement for sleep. Just is letting everybody know. Like, there is no biohacking sleep. We all need it. There's no substitute for that. But it can help mitigate some of the effects of that, and that's something I've been really interested in. And then Equilife's, I think it's like a wild berry flavor. I didn't really expect it to really, blow my socks off, but it actually tastes really good. I was honestly shocked. I thought it was gonna be one of those things where I just down it and then move on with my life. But no, I genuinely enjoy this drink. And I don't say that about a lot of supplements. For example, they have a magnesium powder. It's a strawberries and cream flavor. Not my favorite. Like, it kind of reminds me of strawberry chapstick, the way that it tastes, but it's not awful. I mean, like, I remember, trying chapstick when I was a kid, like the flavored ones. It's like, this tastes really good. It's kind of like that, but I just, mix it in 4 ounces of water, shoot it down, and then go to bed. But this one legit, does taste good. It has like a nice little tartness to it. All right, round number 2, foot flex, strong quad. Here we go. See if I cramp up. But yeah, if you are curious about Equilife, the company, if you go to my channel page, and then there's a bunch of links on there. There's the links to the socials as well. But the last one on there, I think, is Equilife. They have all sorts of things. I've been taking their multivitamin here lately. And then they have a daily detox as well. And I've been taking that. They have a whole detox programs. Jared and I both have done that. For heavy metal detoxes. I just got a hair test to follow up with that from last year. It's 15 on that side. So I gotta do that test. And then, what else are we taking? Jared's taking the Adrenal Soothe at night. He's been taking that for about 3 months now. And his sleep, hopefully he doesn't mind me talking about him like this, but his sleep isn't the greatest. It just kind of never has been super great, just kind of waking up in the middle of the night, that kind of thing. But since taking the Adrenal Soothe, he says it has helped. Like, he'll wake up multiple times during the night, and since he's been taking it, he hasn't been waking up nearly as much. So that's been really helpful. And then he's started to take the Adrenal Energy as well here just in this past month. So we're still just trying to see what's going on with that. He did say, I did ask him about it last week, got one more here, if he's felt any difference with the Adrenal Energy, taking that as well. The idea with the Adrenal Soothe and the Adrenal Energy is that it doesn't use caffeine to hype up your adrenal glands. That's one of the problems with caffeine, is that sometimes it overdrives your adrenal glands and then you just crash. So this is helping kind of heal those glands up, but still providing more natural energy. So he said that, he's like, no, I don't know if I've notice any difference yet. And then he paused for a second. He's like, actually, this week, it might have helped me want to do Insanity again, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Insanity. It's one of the Beachbody workouts programs. It is a wonderful name for that program because it is really hard. And so like just kind of talking about motivation, it's hard for him to get motivated to work out. One of the reasons why is his job is just physically challenging anyway. You know, he builds fences. That is not an easy task. And so with him taking the Adrenal Energy, he said, actually, it may have helped me feel like I can actually do Insanity again, which that is not a small thing. So he did 6 days last week of Insanity, which is insane, by the way. You know, again, it's a great name for that program. Last set here of these. So those are the ones we've been taking. They do have a, they call it full spectrum magnesium. So different forms of magnesium, they do different things, help different areas of the body. Magnesium is really important. Excuse me. I really like their powder. I feel like I had more of a benefit from the powder itself. That's the one that kind of tastes like strawberry chapstick. I like to take that like 30 minutes before bed. It helps relax your muscles. Magnesium is a muscle relaxer, by the way. One more. And so they can help out with those kind of things. Let's see, Jared's taken the omega-3s. I actually have to order some more of those. He's asked for me to order that and I haven't yet. Oh, let's see. I feel like I'm missing one. Maybe not. But yeah, this Advanced Cell Force is my latest one that I've tried. This is the problem of me talking and doing reps. I can't remember if that was my second side. Okay, I think that was my second side. Hopefully I'm not cheating myself. I've got one more set of those. And then, yeah, it looks like I will have time for some side bends. Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking that out. This, again, the quads will be stabilizing for this last exercise as well a little bit. Kind of getting the outer thigh a little bit more as well. Sorry for the loud noises. Here we go. Alrighty. So this is called a Roman chair. I love this thing. Great piece of equipment. All sorts of things you can do with that one. I'm still trying to get my clients to feel okay with using it. It's great. I was sorry, you should count with me. No, it's maybe so. Like if you ask my clients, like counting is the easiest part of the job, is the part I mess up the most. I just can't get it together with that, especially when I'm talking. That doesn't help at all. May have to raise that one level. Okay, last set. I'm pretty sure I did 2 sets last time, or both sides last time. Scooch out a little bit. All right, so last set here. Foot flex, strong quad. Here we go. I want to make sure my toe stays forward too, instead of, I don't want it to turn up. I want to keep it facing forward. Make sure I have that control back down. Here's 12. Whew. Last one. Yeah, that's definitely the last set of that one. Okay, I don't think I shorted myself last time. Whew. All right, final set of these. Final 15. And Here's 10. Yeah. 13, 40, and 15. Oh, yeah, I did short myself. Whew. Good deal. All right, I'm gonna take these ankle weights off. Fun thing about ankle weights, another one that's fairly inexpensive. You can use it for arms, you can use it for your legs. Easy thing you can do is just put them around your ankles and walk around all day. Simple as that. And then when you take them off, feel like you're floating. It's pretty cool. All right, folks, one more exercise for the day. I'll do a few stretches. I'm gonna tilt this up a little bit. So this one is gonna use some side bends. You wanna make sure you get the setup right. So this pad here, I want to make sure it's fully supporting my pelvis. So I can already tell this is a little low. My pelvis is right here, so it's really high. I want to make sure that the pad hits that right there. So that way I'm not getting any extra bend in the hip joint. That won't feel good. All right, so I have one leg in front of the other. I am, for this particular Roman chair, I've learned that I have to keep the feet on the Roman chair. So for example, I can't just like put it on the floor because it will tip over. Found that out the hard way too. I got my bottom leg out in front, making sure I'm pretty cozy here on the pad. It feels really weird because you're at an angle. We're not at an angle very much in our life. So it takes some getting used to. And then I'm just gonna have the hands up to the ears. I may add a weight for this one. So I'm just gonna do one set per side. I'm gonna shoot for 12. If it's feeling good, I'll go to 15. And then if I get 15, that's feeling pretty good, I'm gonna grab a weight. But I have the hands up to the ears, starting in this neutral position. I'm gonna bend myself down till I feel a stretch on the side of my body. I'm gonna exhale, pull back up. That's 3. Quads are stabilizing as well, forgot to mention that. Here's 9. 10, make sure my knees aren't bending a whole lot. 11. This is 12. Yeah, I should go to 15, that won't be a problem. 14, here's 15. All right, I'm gonna swap sides. And my bottom leg is going to be in front. Top leg will be behind. Hip very supported. Here we go. Second side. Actually, I need to switch my legs. I'll do that next time. Do something that didn't feel quite right. Top leg should be in front. But we'll explore it. Here's 11. And here's 15. All right, I'm gonna grab a weight for my next one. Probably should start with 10, but I'm not. I'm gonna do 15. May regret that. We shall see. Let's see, I gotta text Michelle. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Good to know. All right, sorry, I got a text that came in. All right, so obliques are, this will definitely be a muscle of the day too. They're really important. What my husband calls the side abs. There's actually 2 layers of them. There's an outer and inner oblique, or external and internal oblique. They kind of layer. One goes in one direction, the fibers go in one direction, and the fibers, the one underneath, go in the opposite. So they do opposite motions. They help you with bending from side to side, which is the exercise I'm doing now. They also help you from twist from side to side. The number one important function for any core muscle being the abs, the obliques, the spinal erectors in the back, and the transverse abdominis, which is like the internal weight belt. The number one important function of the core, which is all those muscles together, is to stabilize the spine. So these obliques help stabilize the spine when it's in a bending motion. If these muscles are weak, that's where you can get some low back pain, like there's too much strain on the ligaments of the spine in between the vertebrae. Same thing for twisting. If it's not stabilizing and controlling that motion, then that's where some people's backs can kind of give out, because again, it's just too much stress on those ligaments, sometimes the tendons in those muscles as well. There's a lot of layers of muscle in the back, and they are all very important to work. So do not be afraid to work those low back muscles if you can. It will be a lifesaver. It is something that we work on a normal basis in my classes just to help prevent injury. All right, let's see. Top leg in front, bottom leg behind. Make sure I get it right this time. So don't be afraid to do those Supermans, as long as there's no joint pain, of course. If you're feeling that pinching in the spine, you don't want that. You can reset, try it again. If it continues, then pause for a moment. Hire a trainer, that's one that can have some eyes on you, or physical therapy, great option for low back as well. But helping strengthen that core is very important for spinal health. Oh boy, yeah, these 50s can be real fun. 1, 2, this might be 12. 3, 4, it's feeling good though. 5, 12. I think I can go to 15 though. There's 13, 14, and 15. Ha ha ha. All right, to the other side. Top leg front, bottom leg behind. At our angle here. Okay. That's 8, so about halfway. 9. That's 12. Last one. Oh, yeah. That was way better. Okay. One more set of those. We got time to stretch. Clemens, how's your workout coming? Are you almost done? Weirdly enough, doing better on time today. Whew. Almost done. All right. Ooh, some side abs, Bose exercise combined with a neck exercise. Nice. What neck exercise are you doing? That's something I need to do more of for myself. That's my next little research project, personal research project. Hopefully it'll help everybody else out too. So what muscles are you working with the neck? One more set of these things. I'm going to walk around a little bit. So even though this is listed as an oblique exercise is still very much stabilizing with the outer thigh, a little bit of the inner thigh is contracted for that stabilization a little bit, but big time obliques, big time on the outer thighs as well. If aesthetics is what you're going for, the obliques are really nice to train because it helps you kind of get that tapered look in the waist. And then for women, you know, you kind of get that trimmer waistline look. For men, you kind of get that, you know, those V lines kind of down in the pelvis. They just helps tighten up everything functionally. Super important. It's the number one reason why I train them is because they're just so functional. We don't do a lot of sideways motion in everyday life, but when you need it, the strength needs to be there. So like catching yourself if you fall, if you needed to sidestep something, you know, it's all that lateral line. You need that stabilization, something I train with my clients on a regular basis as well. Like I will not write a program without obliques in there. Like they're just that important for everyday movement. Use a band around your head, which is tied to the pulley pole, and make sideways movement, okay. Towel between the band and hair, otherwise it's painful. Yeah, I can see how that would hurt. All right, so you've got it. Let me read that again. So use a band around your head, which is tied to the pulley pole, and making sideways movements. Where's my, oh, I have a band here. This one's way too tight. So you kind of have like, the pole is anchored over here. You kind of have the head here, and then this head band is way too heavy, but you're kind of like pushing it to the side. Is that what you're doing? Are you tilting or are you shifting? Because both of those are really good. Yep, but then with a long band. Yeah, these are probably way too short. Yeah, with a long band. Sweet. So, sorry, I meant to, that was a terrible way of me asking for a chat. Are you doing like the shifting side to side, or are you doing more of the tilt? Or both. Okay. I've got one more set of these. I'll do some stretches. Whew. This has been a good workout today. I don't know why it's been harder today than it was last week, but I'm not complaining. Oh yeah, I went up in weight in a couple things. I keep forgetting that. I don't know why. Yeah. It's good to have a nice workout and a sweat going on. Okay. Shoot for 15 of these. It's getting pretty tough last time though. Legs aren't right. Caught myself there. That felt a little odd. There we go. That feels way better. Way more engaged there. The reason why you want the top leg in front is it helps contract those obliques a little bit more. They kind of tie into this area here. It's not so much a bone as it is fascia and ligaments, I think. I'll double check myself on that. But it's able to contract that area a little bit more with that top leg in front. All right, that's why I'm being a little picky about it. Hits the lower part of the obliques better, I should say. Again, quads are stabilizing. Muscle of the day. I'll do a brief review on that. Here's number 10, I think. Nice one. That's 15. All right. Top leg in front, bottom leg in back. All right, final 15. Then we get our stretch on. Let's see, someone asked about stretches in the office. Stretches you can do in the office, I think, last week. So I will go over some of those. Actually, retired, rehired, I think you asked for that. 10. It's rushing a little bit. Whew, yeah, there we go. All right, that's 15. Set my weight to the side there. Wipe it down later. Whew, get that breath flowing. All right. Oh, neck exercises. So shifting mostly tension on neck muscles and obliques, noise, but some tilting as well. Yeah, nice. You'll have to try that one out for sure. Trying all sorts of different neck exercises. Ever since this rib stuff, the ribs themselves have gotten better, minus the stuff on my left side. It is better, a lot better what it was, but it's like it's kind of shifted upward into my neck now. And so knowing that I need to stabilize that a bit more because stretches aren't cutting it. It's something that it's just like, okay, yeah, stretching doesn't need to happen, strengthening needs to happen. So I need to work on that. I'm going to take you guys on another ride. Sorry about that. I'm gonna lift up my tripod again. I might have some more time tomorrow to shop for a different one. We'll see. Playing a lot of catch-up stuff tomorrow. All right, so quads is the muscle of the day. So we'll start with a quad stretch. So this is something you can do in the office as well. So easy to do. Let me grab a strap too to demonstrate this version. So I've got a yoga strap here. Ignore the mats in the background. They're clean. I just haven't put them up yet. So I've just got a normal yoga strap. You can literally use a towel. You can use a belt. Just something that can cover the distance in case you need it. So I'm going to set that to the side. So again, oh, you can't see me at all. The quads at all, I mean. Let's try that. There we go. So again, the quads are going from kind of, one of them ties up in the hip, crosses down into the knee. So it's this whole front part of the thigh here. And they are responsible for straightening the knee. So you can straighten the leg and feel the squeeze of the quad. You can try to make it rock hard, actually like poke your muscle, make it rock hard. That's actually an exercise. So that's something you can do at work, especially if you've been sitting for long periods of time. When we're sitting, that knee is bent. That means the quads are lengthened out. Sometimes that can weaken them over time. So by strengthening those quads, it gets some more blood flow in there, especially if they're long days. And of course, standing, you can do the standing too. Squeeze the quads as hard as you can. There's something, just kind of get that blood flow back in there. Stretching them though, we want to see if we can take those 2 points away from each other. So again, they kind of tie up here, high up in the femur. Again, there's that one in the hip, but in the femur mostly, and down to the knee. So anytime they want to stretch a muscle, we want to try to get those 2 points away from one another a little bit more. So to do that, we're going to kick this heel back. You can grab the foot. Knees are close together. I'm pulling my heel to the butt. So it takes this point, the patellar tendon, away from the hip point, but I'm going to lift up the chest, and that'll help take more of the hip point up as well. So the hip is not literally lifting, but you're tugging on some of the fascia system in there. But you have the knees together, lifting the chest up. Try not to bow forward. Try not to have the knee out to the side, but have it there. If you cannot grab the foot, no matter how much you try, that's where your strap comes in. You just wrap it at the front of the ankle, grab behind the ankle, and use that to lift up, to cover up the distance. Otherwise, you're going to hold this for 30 seconds at least. You can hold it for more. And then those inhales can help lift the chest even more, helping stretch the front line of the body out. Exhales, hold that line. So that's about 15 seconds right there. If that is not enough stretch, if your heel is actually touching your butt, you can pull the knee away from the other one, a little bit backwards. As long as you keep the chest up. Try not to bow forward with that one. All right, gently set that one down. Switch to the other side. So this is a good one to do in the office, just because It's easy to hang on to a wall or a door frame, just something that will steady you. Of course, you can challenge the balance by letting go of your anchor point. However, if you want to focus on the stretch, go ahead and hang on to something. One less thing to think about, so that way you can really focus on the lengthening of those muscles, keeping the chest up. Let that breath help you out. Forgot to look at the clock. Okay. Those deep inhales in particular can help deepen the stretch. Use the long exhales to hold the stretch. Whatever the inhale is built up. And 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out. All right, next up is a door frame stretch. Huge fan of this one. Again, another one you can do at the office if you have a door frame or anything you hang on to. Okay, just checking the comments there. So you have the edge of the door frame here. I'm going to hang on to just the edge, just the fingertips here. Got the elbow close to the side. I'm going to take the top arm and reach overhead. My palms are facing in the same direction. So for my anime friends out there, I always think of like the ha, like the fusion with Dragon Ball Z, with Trunks and Goten, sorry. That's what I think of every single time with this one. I can say that on Twitch because people will get the reference. So I'm going to take this inner leg, step it out in front. I'm walking on a tightrope with my feet here. I don't know if you can quite see it on the screen there. But I'm walking a tightrope there. Inner leg, the one that's close to the pole, is stepping in front. I'm going to press the hip away from the pole. So I'm getting this lengthening out from the elbow all the way down to the side of the knee. I'm going to scooch a little closer so I can get a little bit more of a bow going on. I want to watch this elbow doesn't cross my face, but it's lifting up towards the ceiling, so I really get into the side. Wonderful one to do if you've been sitting all day. Kind of gets in that hip flexor just a tiny bit, but the sides of our body, again, sometimes they can get too tight, or just because they don't get this motion as much. So they kind of get tightened up. This can cause some hip pain, shoulder pain. So being able to do this stretch, again, holding for about 30 seconds, and then, of course, do the other side. We'll do the other side as well. But it can really help loosen things up, relieve a lot of tension. This is one of my go-tos for sure. Anytime that I'm just feeling kind of tight, I don't feel quite right. If I feel kind of bogged down, this one actually helps lift my mood too. Just kind of gets me in a different plane of motion that I don't typically get in my day-to-day. All right, I'm going to swap sides. Slowly come out of stretches. Don't try to hop out of them. Same thing on the other side. Make sure the hips stay forward. So sometimes that hip wants to turn back. Keep it facing forward. That'll help you get more in the side of the body as well. Holding for 30. Those inhales, again, can help stretch out from the inside of the body. Again, just holding for about 30 seconds. And I'm going to slowly come up. All right, I'm going to do a hip flexor stretch. I'm going to grab a chair, though, just to show a different version of this one. Tilt this down a little bit. So office version of a hip flexor stretch in case you don't want to look like a weirdo, or you just need that quick little pain relief and you need to get back at it. So you don't even have to leave your chair for this next one. I'm gonna get this thing out of the way. If you have a wheelie chair, just make sure that it's stable. It doesn't slide out from under you with this one. All right. And it also works great if you have kind of like a slick floor underneath you. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but it just makes life a little easier with this one. All right. Let's see. Checking my, scooch this more in the center. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. See you, Clemens. Thanks for joining me. Way to go with your workout. Way to stick with it, even though you didn't feel like it. Hopefully you feel better now. Thank you for the inspiration as well for the muscle of the day. Just really appreciate that. Helps me get some more structure. Helps my brain out. So I hope you have a great week. See you Wednesday. All right, so for this stretch, we're going to stretch the hip flexors here. This will be a muscle of the day as well in the future. I'm just going to slide to the side, what I call side saddle in the chair. So I have one leg hanging off. This is the outside leg hanging off. The inside leg is on the chair itself. I'm going to turn this heel out, and that just helps stabilize it. And I can hang on to the back of the chair here. So I'm going to have my toe tucked, so the ball of the foot is on the ground, heel is off the ground. I'm going to slide that heel back as far as I can until I feel a stretch on the front of this hip here. And I want to make sure that I stay upright. So the hip flexor, again, it'll be a muscle of the day, but it connects to the low spine and into the very top of the femur and lays on the inside of the pelvis. So again, those 2 points, you want to see if you can lengthen them away from one another. So making sure that the chest is up and reaching that heel back so it takes that lower point backwards away from the upper point. Whew, and then you can breathe here. A couple of variations with this one. You can do a side bend with this, and then that'll help lengthen that whole area. You can also do a twist. So you're twisting away from that leg. So whichever version that you want, I'm gonna just do it like a little bit more of a back bend. This right guy here tends to get a little tighter. We can squeeze the glutes to help that relax a little bit more too. Sometimes this can get into the quad a little bit. One of the quads, the rectus femoris, a little higher up here in the hip. So again, it crosses the hip joint as well as the knee joint, but it kind of gets that top part of that muscle in there. So again, holding this for 30 seconds. You can hold it for a minute too. If you feel pretty safe to do that, feel free to hold it for a full minute. All right. This one just feels so good. Yeah, we'll have to do like a whole lesson on these hip flexors. Bend the knee to slowly come out. I like to sit in the chair for a moment, get that little pause in there. That one can be a little rough. Some people can't get that full extension of the leg back. That's okay. Just go until you feel a stretch on the front of that hip, especially if you've been doing a lot of office work and you haven't done any stretches like this. Don't be surprised if this is as far as you can go. I have a number of clients, so that's as far as they can go right now. But it does get better the more that you do it. All right, so I'm going to do this other side, pressing through that heel, squeeze the glute, lift the hip up. This is where I was a little iffy about showing my own workouts because I've done this for years. You know, I've been an athlete like my whole life, essentially, not like an official athlete. I played school sports and everything, but I've always been active my entire life. This is stuff that I have built skills around over time. So if you're just beginning, if you don't look like this yet, that's okay. Like, you are doing the work. Like, that is the main thing. Your body shape might look different than mine. That's okay. As long as you're doing the work, you're feeling the target muscle stretch, that's what you're going for. So sometimes there's the temptation to try to look like someone, but sometimes that's when people get hurt too. So just listen to your body, see if you can get that experience. So that's why what Clemens was saying earlier, consistency matters more than motivation. Showing up, gaining that experience little by little, and then you will learn more about your body. The cues that, okay, this is a good stretch. Okay, I need to deepen this stretch a little bit more. Ooh, maybe that's too much. I need to come out a little bit. Like, the more you show up, the more you just experiment. Just play around with it. That was something that an instructor of mine really, I'm grateful for that she pointed that out to me, is just play. Just have fun with it. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy serious. Just do the best that you can. See what you can learn. Just make it a game. See if you can get a little better at it each time. Very grateful for that lesson because I'm not very good at playing. But it has really helped even with my exercise to think about, let's just play. Let's just gain experience. Let's just see what we can do. No pressure. I'm doing this for me, not really for anybody else as far as workouts go. Actually, I am doing this for you guys. But, but as far as your own workouts, you're doing it for you. I'm here to teach. And that's something completely different. But I'm still doing these workouts for me. Like I need to do these things. I'm grateful that you guys are hanging out with me because it does keep me accountable. It's nice to know that other people are working out while I'm doing this too. So that's an encouragement to me too. Like I need that too. Like Clemens didn't feel like working out today. Honestly, I didn't feel like working out today. But knowing that you guys were going to be here, you guys were going to show up and help me out with this Twitch thing. I needed to work out anyway. Like we all need that. Like me as a trainer for 10 years, been a trainer for 10 years. I need that. So that's why I really appreciate you guys being here, taking the time out to watch this, or even if you're not watching, you're listening, you have the phone open. Super thankful. Seriously, that is not a small thing for me, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna do one more stretch, and we'll call it a day. So we'll get those calves stretched out. As far as office goes, this one's a little bit harder to do. A client actually gave me this. This thing is great. So it's a great calf stretcher. It's really for step aerobics, so you can do some step aerobics. It's nice because you kind of have to like balance a little bit more. Little fun you can have about it with it. So talk about play. You can rock back and forth on this thing. So I used this for one of my videos, and I went too far back, and I fell back, and I just kept it in the shot. I was like, that was fun. Let's do it. But this is fun. You know, this is not at all what this is for, but it is a blast. Okay, anyway, so calf stretches. It's a great calf stretcher just because it has a little bit of an angle of it on it. You can do this on a wall. It's not my favorite, especially the calves are really tight, so I'll demonstrate here. So just pretend this step is a wall. You can use a step too. Sorry, camera angle wasn't the greatest. Tilt this down a little bit. So a wall is a little bit more accessible to people I know. They don't all have a fun little step that I've got. So you can post the toes up on the edge of the wall, have the heel on the ground. Again, quad squeeze, surge forward until you feel a stretch on that calf muscle there. It takes quite a bit to get that foot up there. So some people can only get that foot that high, and you just kind of slip down. Wall is not my favorite. So if you can find anything that has a little bit of an angle to it like this one, it helps a ton. I know some people have, like for gardening, it's like those little, like those foam wedges. If you can post that against the wall and then put the foot up on the wedge, you can do that. So like for gardening, like kind of stick the wedge behind the knees, and it just helps you squat and hold that a little bit better. You can make one. You know, you could just make one out of wood, make just a triangle, just a little platform. But having that little bit of an angle instead of just the straight up 90 degree angle is really helpful. So I'm keeping my quad strong here. I'm not locking out my knee. I'm putting the strength in my quad. That helps protect the knee. Sometimes when you lock out the knee, it puts a strain on those ligaments around the joint. But I'm just gonna hold this for 30 seconds. There is the straight knee version, which is we're doing now. That stretches one of the calf muscles. And we'll do a bent knee version here in just a little bit. And stretching out these calf muscles. If you wear heels, ladies, a lot, this is a game changer for you. Especially if you have any foot pain, heel pain, plantar fasciitis, you know, get this stretch going ASAP. Especially if you're wearing heels on a regular basis. So I'm gonna step that out. I like to step it out a little bit more. And then I'll step the other one in. Strong quad, surge forward until I feel that stretch. Whew, this guy's a little tighter today. My other side. So I'm just holding this for 30 seconds per side. Again, breathe. You can have a stopwatch or something going. I've got a wall clock, courtesy of Dana and Tiffany. Really appreciate it. They got me a clock with the business logo on it and everything. My one that I had before wasn't attached to the wall very well, and so it eventually kind of like rattled off the wall and fell. It was just like a $4 clock. It wasn't that expensive. And then they just came one day with this this customized clock, and I absolutely love it. And it just makes me happy every time I look at it, which is often because I use it for a timer very, very much. All right, so bent knee version. I got the foot up there. I'm going to bend the knee. I'm going to use this back leg to stabilize as much as I need. I'm going to bend the knee, and then I'm going to walk myself forward until I feel a stretch on a different part of the calf muscle. So the gastrocnemius is that pretty showy calf muscle, but there's one underneath it called the soleus that's underneath. It's flatter. It only contracts and stretches when the knee is bent. So that's why we have this bent knee version. And stretching this guy out can really help deepen your squats. And so if you have trouble kind of like keeping the chest up, like sometimes the torso wants to go parallel to the ground when you do squats, instead of say more up at an angle, this guy can help you out. So another great one, again, if you're wearing heels as well. This guy doesn't get enough attention. He doesn't get enough press. He's very important. Ooh, slowly come out. I'm gonna shake it out a little bit. Hey, how's it going? 202? You doing all right? Glad you hopped on with us. All right, I'm gonna bend the knee, surge forward. Woo. Are you working out today, 202? Woo, buddy. So I want to keep the heel on the ground with this. Forgot to mention that with the other calf stretches as well. Keep the heel on the ground. Watch it doesn't lift off. If it lifts off, you lost the exercise. You lost the stretch, I should say. And breathe. Again, this other leg is just here to stabilize, help you to keep your balance. It's not necessarily stretching. It's just helping you keep the stretch in the main leg. Alrighty. I'm going to do a quick review of the muscle of the day. There we go. Slowly come out of that. Shake it out. Tilt this back up. Oh, just saying hi. Yay! Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to stop by. Very much appreciated. I truly am honored that you guys are hanging out with me today, taking your time to watch me work out, hopefully learn some things. So muscle of the day, just a quick review, is the quads. So the quads, and quadriceps is the longer name of it. Quad meaning four. There's 4 different muscles actually. So the rectus femoris. So again, this is the one that attaches up and crosses the hip joint, connects down to the patellar tendon there. So it crosses across the front of the femur there. Then you have the vastus, put that one on the floor, vastus lateralis. So it's more on the outer part of the thigh. It connects into the very top of the femur there and into the patellar tendon again. So it's more the outer thigh. Then you have the vastus intermedius. So a little side-by-side comparison there. So you can see it's more in the middle. It actually follows, or it's more on top of the shaft of the femur there. Again, connecting into a little bit more into the front of the top of the head of the femur there, and into the patellar tendon, a little bit more centered. And then finally, the fourth one, you have the vastus medialis, which is on the inner part of the quad, or of the leg here, the femur. So it's a little bit more on the inner part of the femur, connecting up here, and then goes to more on the outside. And again, there's that little curve there. Sometimes that little to the side, they call that the vastus medialis oblique. And so sometimes people will focus just on that one and try to target as best as they can, and they can help with knee alignment and of course foot alignment and everything. So there are your 4 muscles, surprise, of your one muscle of the day. So when people are talking about the quads, they're actually talking about 4 different muscles entirely, but they do the same thing with the exception of the rectus femoris. So again, they help straighten the knee, they help control that back as well, and the rectus femoris helps a little bit of the flexion in the hips as well as straightening the knee. So there's your muscle of the day. I hope you guys have enjoyed today. We'll do more of an upper body muscle on Wednesday. Again, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, of course Twitch. So you guys can follow me on there. Feel free to reach out, send me a message. I'd love to connect. And let's see. Other than that, oh yeah, streaming on Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time. Love to have you guys. Thank you so much again. I'm pretty sure that we got well over 3 views on average for this video. So we should be good. So once it all tallies up and gets through, I will keep you guys updated on this next step. Again, the Twitch affiliate, any money that I get from that goes straight to the gym project. So thank you so much for your support. It means more than you know. Thank you so much. It touches my heart, and I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you on Wednesday.